So what? Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be learning how to do a slip stitch. Now, this is a hand sewing technique, so we will not be using any of our sewing machines, all right? To be very simple, say you're making a pillow, all right? A couch pillow, a bed pillow, just a pillow. You sew around all the corners, and then you leave a little bit of it open so you can stuff it, right? Then you're wondering how you're going to close this opening. You know, you want to make sure it looks nice. You want to make sure it looks professional. You want to make sure it looks decent, right? Nobody wants to be sewing stuff and it's just looking any old kind of way. This is where the slip stitch comes into place, all right? Now here, I just have some scrap fabric that I had made a seam in, as you can see here. And there's an opening that we are going to close with the slip stitch, all right? So in the next clips, I'm going to show you how you can do that. All right, so we are going to take our thread. I'm going to go ahead and use a different color thread than the scrap fabric so you can kind of have a better visual on what I'm doing. But of course, if you were sewing something, you will want to match the thread. All right, so now we are trying to get this closed. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and we are going to insert this needle on the side. Now what you do not want to go through like this, okay? That's not what we want to do. You want to get it as close to the opening as possible. Okay? Checking the other side, we did not pierce through, which is awesome. You might have to adjust it, okay? Now, do you see this? This is like, since I did the side of it, the knot is going to be in the inside. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to kind of just zigzag it across. We are going to take the needle and we are going to go right on the fold. All right, now the success when doing this is doing smaller sections. So you don't want to go, because then it's going to be loose. You want this to be nice and tight. Give it a little tug, not too much where you're breaking the thread. All right, and so now you are going to go back to the other side, because remember, we are doing the zigzag. Trying to get my needle here, bear with me. Okay, and what I kind of like to do is I kind of like to go back. So this is where it starts. So if I want to do this side, I'll go here. But if I want to do back, this is how I like to do it, just to ensure that all right, kind of pull that tight. So now we're just going to go a little bit before. All right, remember, you want to make sure you're doing these in small sections. Make sure you give it a nice pull, but not to where you're breaking the thread. Okay. That's too big. That's too small. You want to make sure you're grabbing the right size, because if you grab too small, then it can rip when you go to pull it. If you're doing it too big, then it gets all loose. You see, really didn't even have to pull that hard that time. I think the hardest pull is in the beginning. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish it for the video's sake, and then I'm going to come back and show you how I finish the end. Okay, now we are at the end, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like opened. Now, of course, it doesn't look like the other seams that we've done, but it is closed, okay? You see I'm pulling. And of course, if you use I mean, you really even can't even see the red thread there. Maybe in some spots, but I think we are all good. Now, how we want to close this is, what we want to do, we want to take it and we want to make a knot. I know I'm probably out of focus here. I want to go ahead, and all I'm just doing right now is making a small knot at the base, okay? You can knot it as many times as you want. I know it's like very tedious to go ahead and make it, because I don't want it to be too... Okay, so here I have a small knot. Focus right there. And what I am going to do is I'm going to take my needle and I am going to put it through the seam of my project. Okay, now of course I can get to this. So hypothetically, let's say you're working on a project and it's like this, because majority of the time it is. You're just going to put it through. You want to make sure you're not catching any of the sides. You want to make sure you're going straight down, okay? And then you want to make sure you're going through a side. Like you want to go down a little bit, not at the top, straight down, and then you want to go out a side, it doesn't matter. And then you want to pull this, okay? And what that's going to do is that's going to go, and that is going to hide our knot. All right. Now our knot is in there somewhere. We can't find it, which is good because we don't want to see it anyway. So this is how you make a slip stitch.